Hello and welcome to Tommy Talks TV, the place to be to build great love relationships. I'd like to start by saying a very big thank you for all your likes and your comments and your shares on Facebook, on Twitter and on YouTube. I really appreciate your feedback, and you're also helping us spread this message further faster. So thank you very much for that. Now, today I'd like to address an issue which is very close to my heart. I'd like to talk to you about what to do when you feel like quitting your marriage. Now, of all the endeavors that we attempt in our lives as human beings, the one thing that is filled with so many dreams and hopes and aspirations is marriage. Because when you decide to get married to someone, your heart is filled with all sorts of expectations of what the future with that person is going to be like. But what do you do when it looks as if your marriage is not meeting up to expectations? What do you do when you're confronted with situations that seem to be so tough and you can't seem to see a way out of it? Well, there are three things I'd like to share with you today that I think will help you. The first of them is to remember that marriage is a covenant. What's a covenant? A covenant is simply an unbreakable promise. It was a vow that you made when you decided to get married to that person. When you stood at the altar and you made those promises to each other, essentially what you were doing is you were anticipating this difficult situation which you would find yourself in, and you were promising that regardless of the situation, you would stick together. Because we don't need vows, we don't need promises for easy situations. We need vows for when the going gets tough. So you found yourself in a difficult place at this particular moment. But remember that you made a promise, and essentially what you were doing is you were burning the bridges behind you and saying, regardless of what I face, I'm going to go ahead with this marriage and make it work. The second thing I'd like to say to you is that you need to realize that you can turn your marriage around, no matter how difficult it looks at this material moment. It might look almost hopeless, but I can say to you that with the experience that I've seen of so many people who have turned their marriages around, no matter how dark it looks, it is not completely hopeless. Do not lose hope, because that hope is your connection to the future that you desire in your marriage. So you need to hang in there with that hope and with courage in your heart to face it and make it work. The third thing I'd like to say to you, which is very important, is get marriage counseling, and as soon as possible. You see, things don't get better with time. They get better with wisdom. Wisdom is the correct application of knowledge. So usually when you find a couple who are finding it difficult to make things work in their marriage, it's simply because they're lacking some knowledge or some wisdom in a particular area. It's not because you're necessarily bad people, but it's because there is something that you ought to know about each other which you don't know right now, and you need to learn in order to be able to make your marriage work. So you need to find someone who can counsel you on your marriage. And I need to say that you should be careful who you're listening to at this particular season, because you're very vulnerable. So you need to be listening to someone who is qualified to help you work on your marriage, not somebody who feels like, marriage is something that is dispensable, and if it's not working, just quit it. So find good, solid Christian marriage counseling that can help you move forward in your marriage and resolve the issues that you're facing right now. Well, I hope this has helped you. If this has helped you, then please leave me a message on Facebook or Twitter. And if you've got a question you would like me to answer, then head on over to tommytalks.com/ask, and I'll answer your question next time. See you next time. Bye-bye.